Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Super Bowl preview show of the Football on the Know show. I am Jim McPhee, and right there is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, know-it-alls? Welcome back again. You know what time it is. Super Bowl's upon us. We've been digging into this all week. We can't wait to talk with Brian Noe right before you. This is a guy who came locally, came from the lower ranks, raised all the way up to the top. The dude's part of Fox Sports. He's an amazing dude and great insight. Brian Noe, welcome to the show once again, brother.
Man, good to be on with you guys. What an introduction right there, huh? How about that? I love all that. And it's funny, like watching the highlights that you have leading up to your show. I'm like, that was a good betting result. That was a bad betting result. Like I'm just like, man, I'm firing away over here. Man. Action on most of these games.
Man, nothing like a bunch of good and bad decisions flashing in front of your eyes. You know, man, I mean, that's that story of my life too, right? I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah, totally. Absolutely. It's always a good time when we have Brian Noe on the Football on the Know show. Last time, I was even looking back, like last time we had you on was 3 months ago, and it was on the Blindside Blitz show that we do. I'm like, man, that was way too long. Yeah. But we were talking Miami Dolphins then too, and that's when Stephen Ross was like, hey, I'm all in on Mike McDaniel. He's not leaving. His job is safe. Mike McDaniel's like, yeah, I'm safe. It's all good, blah, blah. Tua was being benched, Quinn Ewers was starting saying he's the best, opportunity to win, yada, yada. And here we go. Now Mike McDaniel's out. So what are your thoughts on that? I know we talked and asked you then, if you're GM, what do you think? You're saying rebuild the whole thing from the ground up. So now Mike McDaniel's out. What's your take now on that situation and what the Dolphins are looking forward to?
Yeah, man, it's a rough spot. Basically, it's a rough spot to be in. And like, honestly, I don't know who they could have hired with the roster being the way it is, where I'd be like, you know what? I got real hope right now. It's about the roster, like they got to retool the roster and rebuild that thing to have any chance with anyone. And it's just the Packers South, like that's all it is. The whole operation, the GM, Packers guy, hires a Packers defensive coordinator as the head coach, hires the Packers, assistant coach as the defensive coordinator. It's just Packers South over there now. It's weird, but it's about the roster, man. That roster needs a ton of work, and you're seeing it at the top. Like they're as non-committal as you can be with Tua. He's going to be gone, man. They're not. They're basically like, if this is a girl, you're like, she's got a great personality. It's like, you're not interested. Okay. Like that's basically what the Dolphins are doing with Tua. They're just not interested in going on life with Tua. It couldn't be more obvious.
Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of scares you, I guess, too. When you see some of these new coaches hired, you see what staff they start to bring on. I know I was reading somewhere, I think it was Sports Illustrated, and they're like, oh, Nathaniel Hackett's a great, idea for offensive coordinator for the Dolphins. I'm like, no, but please don't, and then luckily for you, it wasn't, and it was, Bobby Slowick. So, obviously you don't believe that Tua is even going to be there. So when he comes in, you think his number one task then is to just say, hey, Quinn Ewers, what are we going to do here? And what can I do to make you better?
I guess they have to find their quarterback of the future in the draft. I don't know if they're going to, get like a more athletic Tua in Kyler Murray, but it's the same result. They're going nowhere. So I don't know. They might try to get one of the veteran guys out there. Quinn Ewers is not the quarterback of the future or the now. He's just not that guy. So they're going to have to find someone. I don't know of any veterans out there that are going to make a world of difference with the roster being what it is. So if they can find someone in the draft, it's sort of like a diamond in the rough type thing, they might try to do that. But I really have no hope at this point. It's that bad. It feels like, I was thinking about this too. You think about the Broncos being in the AFC Championship game without Bo Nix. We're only, 2 years removed, I think, when the Dolphins scored 70 on Denver. Like, think about where we've gone with both of those teams since then. It's like Denver was a win away from the Super Bowl, at least getting there. And with their backup quarterback, they still almost got there. And yet the Dolphins, you've seen them just slide. So to be a couple of years removed, the Dolphins hanging 70 on the Broncos, and to see where the Dolphins have slid and to see where the Broncos progress this season, it's really sad as a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, and then also, like, with the changes that have been made, obviously you move on from McDaniel. We know all about that. But now you get a new guy in Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. How do you think he's going to settle into Miami? What do you think? Like, obviously, it's going to be a tall task for him to try to, like, even just start with this roster rebuild and what they can do in the draft. But what do you think is his first thing he has to tackle?
Well, you got to find the quarterback. You got to find that. That's on almost any roster. And good luck figuring that out. It could take the next decade or two it could take that long. But that's the first job, is to find a QB. That's the most important job. I don't know if that's the first job, but that's the most important job.
Yeah, right.
And, but that's the thing too. I don't like having questions about the new head coach as a coordinator. The Packers started off great with Micah Parsons. They were the toast of the NFL 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
They beat the Lions. They beat the Commanders. Those were two impressive wins at the time. And that was just like, oh, Packers. And since that moment, they steadily went down. And when Micah Parsons got hurt, huge loss, granted. But did that Packers defense, was that great? No, it wasn't at all.
Yeah.
They should have beaten the Bears in the regular season. They should have won they should have won easier in the playoffs. And that should be defense all day, bringing home those wins. And they struggled to do that. So I have questions about Jeff Hafley as a coordinator. And now he's the head coach. You have those guys like Robert Saleh is a good example, where you might say, great coordinator, head coach. I don't know. I don't even know about Jeff Hafley as a coordinator.
Yeah.
And now he's the head coach. So I'm not hopeful right now.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, somebody said something what I was thinking, though. So I'm glad you're kind of in agreement with me, too, because I kind of question some of these coaches that go out for hires, too, these coordinators. And you're kind of like, well, what did that guy really show me that teams are interested in? Say, hey, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that's going to turn things around, because I felt the same way that you do. Early on, it was okay. And you looked at last year, they were a top 5 defense. And now they added Micah Parsons. We're like, wow, these guys going to really turn it up a notch. And, it didn't. It kind of just fizzled out. And so looking forward, I had questions too on top of it. And maybe it is just, they feel like, whatever coaching tree they might be under, or may they win the interview too. We know that too. So you speak a good game in an interview. I mean, how many times have we had like Eric Bieniemy interview for a bunch of different roles and just never get it? Like, what happened? Is he just terrible in an interview, or what is it?
Yeah, doesn't get it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, look, Jimmy, if you were applying for a job and Joe was doing the hiring, and you guys are boys, and he might be like, you know what, Jimmy, and he might be right, but you guys are boys at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's basically what happened with Hafley. Like, those guys came from the same regime.
Relationships. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, if someone who doesn't have like great familiarity, a great relationship, and they still give you the job, that's pretty eye-opening. Like, wow, okay, he must have really been impressive. We don't even know that with Hafley getting the gig. Like, his boy hired him, so he might not have even been that impressive to begin. So yeah, just questions galore, man.
And that's the thing too, is
Yeah.
it doesn't even just stop with Miami. Like you look at some of the other head coaching hires, guys that were so unproven. Look at Mike LaFleur in Arizona. Gets a head coaching job who's been under Sean McVay. And I get it. You're always trying to find that next guy, but has never called plays. Has
Mm.
never been like, yeah, he's part of the game plan leading up to week, but he hasn't proven anything. There's no track record to go off of, but he's got a head coaching job. So hopefully it works out for Arizona. But again, a lot of these guys that are kind of unproven, given these high ranking jobs, and now they got to turn a team around that's been, lackluster for quite some time. So
It's a good point because you would think you kind of take steps
yeah,
toward getting like the next role. And
yep.
man, he went in the old school Mario Brothers warp zone. Like you're not even calling plays, and now you're the head guy. It's like, dude, we
Yeah.
skipped like the fourth and fifth. We're in the sixth world somehow. We hit a portal. That's pretty wild. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I like the analogy right there. I like that. That's perfect.
Good stuff.
So
yeah.
you got a Miami Dolphins question, Joe?
No, we were
No,
all
all
done.
right,
I'm
cool.
done with Miami.
Because I started
I've had
thinking,
enough of
dude,
Miami.
I
right
mean,
now.
I feel like I'm just gonna ask Brian some more stuff. I'm going on the fly here, but we watched also with Pittsburgh and the Mike Tomlin saga go down. Obviously, watching that team, it seemed like for me, I kind of saw it as maybe the franchise as a whole is kind of behind the times and things. They're kind of like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to grab these guys, make this team, and we'll make a run with this. And it really proved that when, the game of, inches and how you got to get stuff done, but it's a game of grueling, hits and everything, a long season, that these older guys, it really took a toll on them. And by the end, they really didn't have anything left in the tank, so that they just didn't perform well, especially come playoff time. And they get rid of Tomlin, but now you bring in, Mike McCarthy with what, another chance that you're going to get Aaron Rodgers again? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what are you guys doing right now?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. And it's funny. I mean, I had a flashback. I had an old coach. We're putting in a reverse years ago. This is like high school football, like Stone Age ago. And he was saying, you got to give ground to make ground. Like picture you give the ball to the guy, like the end around. And instead of going like straight down the line of scrimmage, you can't then just cut on a dime and cut up field. He's saying you got to round it. You got to give some ground, and then you hit the line of scrimmage with some momentum, and you make ground that way. And that applies to the Steelers. You got to give some ground to make ground, and they don't want to do it. I halfway respect them where they're like, if you say tank, they're like, tank. What does that even mean? Like, and I respect them for that. They're going for it, but they're not willing to give any ground in a particular year to gain ground in the next handful of years. And that's what they have to do, because all they've done, they've put a bunch of Band-Aids on their problems. If you look at their quarterbacks, they're not finding their quarterback of the future.
Yes.
They're finding like Aaron Rodgers on his last leg, and that's going to help maybe get him to 10 wins and a quick playoff exit, but it's not getting them anywhere. And that's what they've done for the better part of the last decade. I have no questions about Mike Tomlin's ability to coach, but if you give him Duck Hodges and like old Aaron Rodgers, the ceiling is too low, you know? So that's the thing. Like they go from Tomlin to McCarthy. I don't see any difference at all. They found a guy who's like a better run blocker who has a slower 40 time, and Mike Tomlin, if we're evaluating these coaches as players, like I don't see how they went from 9-8, 10-7, early playoff exit to anything but that. Like, it's just a different guy, and that's where they're going to be until they find their quarterback of the future, really retool the roster. It's going to be the same old thing, man.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think of like the people that fear the unknown, so they go with what's safe. They're like, I don't know about that. I don't want to make that jump. I don't want to make that leap. And like you said, obviously too, that give ground to make ground, I think is a great analogy too, as well, for that.
It's refreshing to hear, Brian, that we're not the only ones that think that way. Because I gotta be honest, it seems to me like the Pittsburgh Steelers have this image of themselves that they're always winners no matter what. Like, there always should be pushing for the Super Bowl, even if the roster doesn't dictate that, even if they're depleted in certain positions like they are currently. So, um, like you just mentioned, like, they had Rodgers last year. Now he's up in the air. And like this, you pointed out, they have neglected that position. Hell, they could have had Jackson Dart in the first round. They could
Yeah.
have drafted him, and that would have transformed up to this point that team in a different direction. But by neglecting the most important position in football, you go with the bargain bin and say, hey, we're going to take Will Howard in the middle rounds, and we're going to develop him over time. And well, what's to say if Rodgers retires right now, and you're going to have to push him out there and hope that somehow, some way, he's ready for it.
Yeah. That's a rough spot to be in, right? You got a sixth rounder out there. Like, is that the plan? Like, that's and you know what's funny is that for 1 year, that might be the best thing for Pittsburgh, is because they're always, they're drafting in the 20s, and the quarterback draft next year is pretty good. So
pretty deep.
If they actually put Will Howard out there, there's no way the Steelers are like, we're rolling with this and hopefully we'll win like 5 games. They just don't think like that.
Right.
And again, I halfway give them credit for not willing to bend. We're going to compete, like I do give them some credit for that, but they got to find a way to set themselves up for the future as well. And they just can't.
Right.
They can't figure that part out. You got to be honest with yourself. Like if you're a little bit overweight, there's no problem. Maybe don't wear a 2-piece to the beach. Maybe, be honest with yourself. And they just have the inability to do that. They think they're swimsuit models. And they're not.
Right.
Yes. Right. I love it. Dude, the analogies keep coming and coming. I love it. Brian Noe, the at the No Show on X, everybody, and then also Countdown to Kickoff on Fox Sports Radio. We love having him on the show. So here it is. The stage is set. Did you ever think that it was going to be Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks at the end of this thing? I mean, this is crazy, right?
It is crazy. I thought it was going to be Patriots Rams.
Wow,
that's what
but
I
you
thought.
did see the Patriots turning around that fast, huh?
Well, we're talking, not at the beginning of the season, certainly not. No way. No, but like a couple of weeks before the playoffs began, because it was just wide open this season. At that stage, there's no Chiefs, probably no Ravens, Bills aren't the same. Like, I could see it then, but no, not before week 1. Isn't it crazy? The Patriots lost to the Raiders in week 1. Yep. Patriots are in the Super Bowl. The Raiders have the first pick. Yeah. It's crazy how it went from week 1 to where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that tells you about how teams just play, especially down the road. I mean, we looked at so many good teams that were good early on. Like you brought up the Green Bay Packers. The Rams were in the same boat. I mean, they were great early on. And then the tail end of the season and in the playoffs, just going down the road, and like barely making it through, almost getting lucky on things to make it and backdooring into the playoffs. So you don't ever want to have that. You want to have the momentum going through. And I feel like Vrabel, with his experience being a player to being a Super Bowl champion on top of it, learning under Bill Belichick, also kind of getting that underdog type of mentality, because what's the knock you heard about the Patriots all season long anyways? Oh, they're easy schedule, all this and that, and blah, blah, blah. They're just, a nobody. They're hollow. They're nothing. Wait till they play somebody good. I mean, like you said, they lost to the Raiders, right? But he's got them prepared. Here they are in the big game, and now facing off against the Seattle Seahawks team, who all around a really good team. Everybody praises the defense, and we get that, and Mike McDonald's a big part of that, but nothing can really talk about the impact that Sam Darnold coming to that team has been. And what's your take on Sam Darnold here and the impact that he's had on the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's had an impact. There's no doubt about it. He's played really well. I think that when you look at him dicing up the Rams, it's impressive. Yes, the Rams secondary is the weakest unit on that roster by far. They don't have a very good secondary. But even with that being said, Sam Darnold, it's not like he went out there and threw for 200 lucky yards. You know what I mean? Like he went out there, he diced them up pretty good in the NFC Championship game, right? So you got to give him credit for that. And listen, I think he's played well this season too. He deserves props. I think it's gone too far with the recognition that he's getting. It's like, it's a great story. It's an awesome story from where he was with the Jets, where he was cast aside. It's crazy that both Baker and Sam Darnold were teammates with the Panthers.
Yeah.
And it shows the importance of a good supporting cast, good coaching staff. Like, there are certain guys that they can be good players and they can be productive in the league if they have a legitimate supporting cast, legitimate coaching staff. If they don't, they're going to look like Baker and Sam Darnold did earlier in their careers. And now look at both of them. They're both putting up numbers, and Sam's in the Super Bowl. So you have to give him some credit. I do think it's gone a little bit too far. If you look at what Sam Darnold did this season, he had the same number of touchdown passes as Bo Nix, and he threw 3 more interceptions than Bo Nix. Bo Nix had the same passer rating as Bryce Young of the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
boy. Yeah.
I think Bo Nix can do some things, but he's not upper echelon, top 5, top 10, not now.
Right.
And Sam Darnold that's the neighborhood he's living in. He's living in like the Bo Nix cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Safe. Very safe.
Think it's just gone too far where it was 1 year ago. We're crushing Sam Darnold for wetting himself in the biggest moments, right? Week 18 against the Lions, bad. They don't win the game. They don't win the division. They're on the road. They play the Rams in a neutral stadium, right? Because the wildfires in LA. And he was even worse. He got sacked 9 times. I wasn't even betting on the game, and I'm yelling like, throw the ball, dude, throw the ball. We're 1 year removed from that, and it's like the life and times of Sam Darnold. He deserves credit, but I think he's getting way too much credit right now.
Way too much.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely see that with the media. It's the storylines nonstop.
The hype train, you know?
Yeah.
Between, now that you bring up Sam Darnold, and then we got to talk about Drake May, talk about both of them, really. In this big matchup, you have Drake May on one side, which, he's committed some turnovers throughout the playoffs leading into the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold has been playing very efficient in the playoffs for the Seattle Seahawks. But there's still that little sense on Sam Darnold's side where it's like, man, if the Patriots can get pressure on him and start to rattle him a little bit, he'll make some more mistakes. And for Drake May, he's got to try to shut the faucet off and stop turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Which one of these quarterbacks are going to have the edge come Sunday?
I mean, I like Drake May a lot. I think Drake May in only his second year.
Yeah.
He didn't even start the whole year as a rookie, and to be neck and neck with Stafford throughout the season as the MVP in his second year. I just think Drake May's got the goods, man. Like, he's a good quarterback. When you're completing 73% of your passes,
pretty good
the regular season, that's outstanding. And they're not throwing just, we talked about Bo Nix a second ago. Like, the running game in the Denver offense, a lot of times is an extension of the running game. The passing game is an extension of the run.
Yeah.
The Patriots are chucking it. Like, they're throwing it downfield. This is not a dink and dunk offense. And so for Drake May to put up those type of numbers is really impressive. And it just seems like, I don't know, it's the year to not give the Patriots any credit for anything. It's like, it's a cake schedule. And that's where it begins and ends for a lot of people. Yeah. I just think Drake May is a legitimate quarterback. They've got a legitimate coach. They've got a legitimate defense. They bring a lot to the table other than a soft schedule. So I think that goes way too far. And I think when Drake May, he can use his legs. He's been bad. I make no excuses for him the last 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
He did not play well, especially against Denver, man. Where you're throwing for 86 yards. That's crazy, man. And before we went to a blizzard, it was like a movie from dusk till dawn, it turned into a vampire movie out of nowhere. Like, that's what the weather did, right? But 2.5 quarters, it's clear. And he's not playing well at all. Yeah. So as much as I think about him, he's definitely got to step it up because he's turned the ball over too much. He's put it on the ground way too often. So he's got to have a much cleaner game for the Patriots to come out ahead.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that game got embarrassing in the first half. I mean, Jarrett Stidham coming in and kind of showing you up in that whole thing looked way more comfortable that day than Drake May did.
Yeah, at least he started off better.
Yeah.
Like Stidham threw the touchdown pass and had the long.
Yep.
I don't know. Gonzalez is like, oh look, it's Marvin Mims just running by.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Like, but then the turnovers with Stidham, man. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, the backwards pass and then the interception
Yep.
late, and that was rough. But
That's the thing. Sometimes with backups, right? You kind of look at them and you're like, oh man, he doesn't look bad. And then those little things come up. You're like,
right.
Yep.
Well, but that's the
why.
thing though, is you got. They always say styles make fights,
Mhm.
and it's true. And it has a direct impact on what the stat line was for Drake May. Like the Patriots aren't trying to, hey, we're going to go into this game and we're going to get Drake May a good stat line. No, they're trying to win the game. And they're like, oh, Stidham leaves a lot to be desired here, right? Like, and they're just daring the Broncos to score points. That was beyond conservative. So that factors in there as well.
Yeah.
They're just trying to win the game. And they're not trying to get gaudy numbers for Drake May, right? So that does matter. But even with that being said, he's got to step it up because there have been a lot of holes in his game playoff-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Patriots and Seattle Seahawks, everybody knows the two teams, but you got two great defenses because I think it's been overshadowed a little bit for New England side about how good their defense actually is. It rivals the Seattle Seahawks. Now you're going to have two big-time defensive sides on each side of the ball. Between those two defenses, along with the positives and negatives of each offense, who do you think is going to have the advantage throughout the game?
Well, I think on paper, it's the Seahawks, right? The Seahawks have a clear advantage. Doesn't mean it's going to play out that way, right? I just look at the Patriots. They're just a solid team. And although they don't like ooh and ah you, right? It's not like you go to fireworks on the 4th of July, right?
Yeah.
Patriots are not those fireworks. They're like, oh, wow, that's not what they are, man.
More
They don't
X's and
ooh ah,
O's.
but they're solid. They are a solid team. And even though you would say Christian Gonzalez, and beyond that, I don't know how many Patriot defenders like NFL fans can name, right? Like it's just like a collection of solid players. And I think what they can do is they can slow down the running game. That's the first thing they have to do. They have to slow down Kenneth Walker.
Yep.
And the more that you can force Sam Darnold to do, I think that benefits the Patriots. It's not to say that like Darnold's incapable. But I think that the more you can force him to do, the more pressure you put on him, that's probably going to be to your advantage. If I'm the Patriots defense, I would rather slow down the run and make Sam Darnold beat me. And although I know that he can, I want to take my chances that he won't, right? And so that's what you got to do. And you look at the Seahawks on paper, and there are a lot of games that just don't play out that way. You see all their advantages, and it's like, think about the old school Patriots with Belichick. He would always take away what you did best, right? It's like, oh, you love to throw to JSN. Well, guess what? That's really not going to be a thing this game. He would do that to Tyreek Hill, peak Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, like both in their prime. And it's like, those guys just aren't going to be factors. And it's like, you can just do that? He's like, we can just do that. So, like, ask yourself, if that's the way it plays out, like JSN in their first playoff win against the Niners, he had 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. That was it. So ask yourself, if they find a way to slow down JSN, let's say, whatever, they double him, they bracket him, whatever they do, he doesn't go crazy. Do you have faith in what? Rashid Shaheed, Cooper Kupp, Barner, like
Jake Bobo.
Like that's who's carving up the Patriots. I don't see it. So you got to slow down the run, got to slow down JSN. Don't let either player kill you, and force Darnold to beat you with those other guys. If you can do that, you're live.
That's interesting too. The fact that like you bring up Bill Belichick, but who was a former player and learned under Belichick? That is Mike Vrabel, a guy who learned everything he knows and also getting that experience as a head coach, outwitted the teacher when he played against Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
So it's like the staff that Vrabel has put together, he understands football. He is a great coach, and it's going to show on Super Bowl Sunday because the guy makes phenomenal decisions in game, personnel wise. And that goes to show you, too, the makeup of this team, that roster that you brought up. Who are some of these guys? Robert Spillane, middle linebacker, comes over, juggernaut. K'Lavon Chason, who was jettisoned out of Jacksonville because we don't know how to use him. Put his hand in the ground. What's the hard part? Like, some of these players that they brought in free agency have drastically turned the makeup of this team around, along with the draft. Will Campbell coming over in at left tackle. So all of that combined, this team is definitely ready. And I'm actually astonished on one of the quickest turnarounds from a 4-win team to a Super Bowl contender that could possibly win the championship. It's absolutely insane.
It really is. And I'm glad you said that because it's all about, well, their schedule. It's like, bro.
Everybody's tough, though.
Right.
Like, everyone's bringing up the whole schedule and, they had the easiest schedule. Okay, it was ranked the easiest schedule.
Right.
But every single game, I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if you're playing the Raiders, the Arizona Cardinals, the Miami Dolphins, whoever, the Jets. It's not a walkthrough. It's not like practice where you can't expect to win those games. That's how you get beat.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, though, is I would love to see if we could magically do this. Put every team that won 4 games the year prior and have them play the exact same schedule the Patriots just played.
Right.
The same breaks that they got, like no Bo Nix in the AFC title game. Like you're playing the same. I don't think they're in the Super Bowl.
No,
I really don't. Right. Like, so
you
can't just luck your way into winning 16 of 17 games.
Right.
So to go from 4 wins to the Super Bowl, man, says a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, too, is look at some of the quarterbacks that they faced. We focus a lot on Jared Stidham, but Justin Herbert is a very good quarterback. He did nothing against the Patriots. Their receivers couldn't get open. They scored 3 points. They did nothing against that defense. CJ Stroud, like his rookie year looks more and more like a mirage. He was sensational his rookie year. He was beyond awful. He was so bad. It was like, how do you not put Davis Mills in the game?
Right.
4 first half interceptions. Like, that's not just CJ Stroud being bad.
No,
that's the Patriots defense being good. So I just think it's way, way too much about the Seahawks as if they're favored by like 14.5 points. They're favored by 4.5, man. They are not that far apart.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. And that's what's funny. It's kind of, for a game that really is really close, how much more everybody's talking about the Seahawks and their defense and how dominating they might be when this is a really tight Super Bowl. I think it's going to be really close, and it could be anybody's game. We know that defenses win championships. Yes, the Seattle Seahawks, better at the sack game, better at interceptions, turnovers, and things than the Patriots, but you never know. And on both sides of the ball, you've got Mike Vrabel, like Joe brought up, the fact that under Belichick's tree, he's been to the Super Bowl multiple times, has that experience, so he can prepare his team for this week and the game. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have, at least Clint Kubiak, whose dad has been to 7 different Super Bowls, a couple as a player, a couple more as a coordinator, and then a head coach, and winning one as a head coach, for the Denver Broncos. So there's going to be conversations there and how everybody can prepare for this week in this game. It's going to be a super exciting game. So when it all comes down, Brian Noe, who do you take it in this one?
I got the Patriots, man. I do. I've got the Patriots in this one. I like them to win 17-13. I think this is a grinded out, low scoring game. I think both defenses have advantages. And I just don't see this like wide open offense. I don't see that, man. I see a grinded out type game, a field position type game. And I just think that the Patriots defense is that good. And it's the same thing offensively. They don't have like these crazy playmakers and like, how are you going to slow down like Mac Hollins and, and Stephon Diggs at his age? It's not like prolific, but they're just steady.
Yeah.
and they just find ways. And I think they're going to be able to keep this a close game. I don't think they get boat raced at all. And I just don't love the spot for a Sam Darnold team to be expected, like far and wide, to not just win, but maybe win convincingly. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know. If you can just keep it close, right? Make this a fourth quarter game. He is more than capable of messing up in a big, big way. So I like the Patriots in this spot. It's just Drake May, bro. Like, all security, man. You know, like, he can't turn the ball over here. He's got to be much better. And I think he can. I really do think he can. But I know it's scary. It's one of those deals where it's like, Will Campbell's been shaky and Drake May's got this shoulder. What if he gets hit the first play and everything's, you know, it can happen, but I'm betting that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I think that's what's interesting. Hold on real quick, Joe. That's interesting about this Super Bowl in particular is you have two teams that are good, especially defensively and an all around, but two quarterbacks where only second-year guy and then a guy that's been here in the league a bunch, but really has only kind of turned it on the last two seasons to where we're looking at this and we're like, we don't know what to expect out of these guys. We don't know. And so I think that adds to the allure of the game because we could get anything.
I know it. And that's the thing, man, is when you look at Darnold, and I'm not trying to make him out to be just some hack or anything, but listen, he's had a very good season, but we know he's capable of screwing up. All right. That's not any crazy hot take or overly critical take. I go back to week 18, right? They're on the road at San Francisco, and that's for the division. That's for the 1 seed.
Right.
And their defense, Seattle's defense was phenomenal that night, but it was 13-3. And the Niners put together a great drive, their best drive of the game by far. And give the Seahawks credit. They tipped the pass ever so slightly at the line of scrimmage, and Christian McCaffrey bobbled the ball, turned into an interception. If he doesn't bobble that ball, they're most likely going to score a touchdown on that drive. And I'm like, man, I was heavy on the Seahawks that game. And I'm like, if it's 13-10, and all of a sudden it's a key third down situation and Darnold has to throw it and they really need to move the chains because the Niners have the momentum and all that stuff. It's like, ugh, I don't know if I like this situation, you know? And so I can't get away from that with Darnold. I'm not saying he can't come through, but if it's a fourth quarter game and it's on his shoulders to make the play, to move the chains, to score, I don't love being in that spot, man. And it could quickly turn into that very, very fast. For everybody who's like, oh, Seahawks big. Like, don't be surprised. That's a completely ravaged by injury 49ers team. You don't think the Patriots are as good as the banged up Niners? They absolutely are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, both of these teams are well prepared for this matchup. I love the fact that both these teams made it because they're very similar in certain aspects to each other. Nobody envisioned these teams to be here at this point. And you have a younger, up-and-coming Mike McDonald head coach who is at his first Super Bowl with this team that he helped orchestrate to get here. And Vrabel, who's kind of like the more veteran head coach at this point that knows everything, that knows people, that knows his players, and turned that team around in one offseason. Now they're both meeting each other. And I hear you too, Brian. There's been like mutterings out there about, oh, injury this, injury that. I'm really concerned about the shoulder for Drake May. I'm really concerned about how's the oblique there, Sam? Are you okay? Those guys are perfectly fine. Drake May's shoulder's just fine. He was throwing in practice, like no hitch in it. Nothing's bothering him. Neither of these quarterbacks, these teams are ready to go to war. And I think it's going to be one of the better Super Bowls that we've seen in recent memory.
I hope so, man. And we've typically gotten close Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Last year was the exception, man. We've had a long run of really close, really good, dramatic Super Bowls. There's just something in the air. I don't know what happens, right? Or it's like the NFL can't lose more times than not. Yeah, it turns into a great game. And that's the thing, man, is if you can get it to a close fourth quarter game and like, bro, like that's the thing is like the Seahawks have advantages on paper, but it's amazing how football plays out where like the Eagles at home, these playoffs, they had many advantages on the Niners on paper. And the next thing you know, Jawan Jennings is throwing a touchdown to Christian McCaffrey, and you're like, what? You don't think Josh McDaniels has a couple of tricks up his sleeve? And weird stuff can happen real fast. So all these advantages that you think the Seahawks have, and they do on paper, it doesn't mean it's going to play out on the field that way.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking to Brian Noe at the No Show on X and also Fox Sports Radio, Countdown to Kickoff on the weekends. Brian, we know you're a big music guy, so we got to ask you about the halftime show. Are you excited to see some Bad Bunny, or you think you're going to go elsewhere?
I'm fine. I can't say I'm excited, but I'm cool with it, man. Like, you could put almost anybody out there outside of Tool. If you put Tool, the rock band out there, I would rage. Okay. But outside of that, I really don't care. Like I'm just not gonna be the guy complaining about the halftime.
Halftime.
All right, Brian. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But how about this?
Dance, you get a little bit of flavor. Maybe you'll learn what nosotros means. I don't know.
All right. So how about this? You're planning for next year's Super Bowl. Who are you inviting for the halftime show?
Well, me, I would invite Lamb of God right away.
There you go. That's what's up. Right? There you go.
You could at least get Metallica out there, right? They're a metal band. You know, they have plenty of hit songs. They play Metallica all the time during NFL games. Just listen to the background music. It's For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's One. It's, gosh, I'm trying to Enter Sandman for
Enter
sure.
Sandman for sure. Yeah.
All the time, man. Like, if you just have them, just hey, Metallica, play the songs that are at every NFL game during the games. Like, they would be fantastic, man. I would absolutely invite them. They're a legendary metal band, and they're so big, they're not just metal, if that makes sense.
Right.
So if we're trying to heavy it up a little bit, they'd be a phenomenal choice.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Because they even bridged the gap kind of, because metal was still like, oh, everybody, you listen to metal, that's it. It's not really mainstream, but they brought metal to the mainstream forefront, I would say, and so worldwide they accepted. Everybody kind of knows them. It would be probably acceptable. I think it's funny that, you got Bad Bunny, but then also the NFL's got to they're like, hey, we're going to throw these white dudes a bone. Let's get Green Day out there. They probably like them, right? They're like, it's a good rock band, right? So Green Day will open up the act. We're like, really?
Well, that's the thing. That's like with the collabs. If you somehow got Metallica in the Super Bowl, like at the halftime show, there'd be some crazy idea like, all right, Cardi B is going to sing this verse. And it's like, whoa, what are we doing here right now? It's going to be weird, but I would absolutely be fine with Metallica being out there. And where it goes from there, who knows? But if they got, I'll tell you what, one of my favorite performers was Bruno Mars. He was sensational, man. He was outstanding.
That was
absolutely.
It was great.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, that was probably my last favorite one. Cause again, you see what kind of musical talent he has all around, cause he put on a full display and everything, and very entertaining. And now Super Bowl is just like, let's see what the spectacle is and whatever pop star it might be and stuff and whatever it might be.
The only thing I ask musically, the only thing is whoever it is, perform your stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine. I like Kendrick Lamar a lot. He's got a lot of great songs.
Yeah.
When I can tell immediately he's not performing his stuff, I'm like, bro, I don't care about the choreography at all. I want to hear how you sound. If you're a rapper, I want to hear you rap. If you're a guitarist, I want to hear you play guitar. If you're a singer, I want to hear you sing. I don't want to see anybody lip sync, anybody fake it. It's the only thing I ask. I'm a stickler on that. I'll complain about that all day. I won't complain about who the musical
it might be.
Just perform your stuff, man. You got it. I don't care about it. It's just lying to us, and I don't think it's the fault of the artist. I think the higher ups, they push it and they insist like, oh no, like we could have like the amp could go out and then what? It's like, then we'd figure it out on the fly is what we would do.
Right. Yes.
You have that Ashley Simpson like moment, like when she was on SNL, like all of a sudden she missed her cue when she was supposed to lip sync and then she's just
So bad. Do you remember, like, way back when Milli Vanilli got hammered for lip syncing on SNL?
Yeah.
And now no one cares. If I'm Milli
Yep.
Vanilli, it's like, why did we get crushed for that?
Yeah.
But it's totally acceptable now. It's amazing how far it's gone.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bonus question, Brian. I
Yeah.
got a bonus question for you.
Yeah.
Chris
Uh.
Collinsworth is going to be calling the game. How many times is Chris going to mention Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
Is that like a prop bet? That's a good one.
It actually is.
It is. Is
Yeah.
there an over under?
I think it's at 4 right now.
4.
Yeah.
How is he going to mention
it's
Mahomes?
changing. It's changing because of how many people are betting
Betting
from
on
where
it.
it originally was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're moving it.
Dude, if the line is 4, I am hammering the under. How is he
Yeah.
going to mention Mahomes 4 times?
Yeah.
Why would he mention Mahomes 4 times?
I don't know, because he called like Jared Goff Patrick Mahomes in one of his games.
Yeah, he did, but
So,
that's true.
I mean, anything's possible, Brian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He just accidentally misidentifies Drake
Yeah,
May
he's
4
like,
times.
what? Oh, hey.
Look at this
Oh,
throw
man.
by Patrick Mahomes. What is he talking about?
Oh,
Wow. That's amazing. Oh, no, man. I'm hammering the under. I don't know that he mentions him 1 time. I really, like, that to me is a legitimate bet. But 4 times, there is no
way
he mentions Mahomes 4 times.
No.
I think the
No.
producers there are going to remind him over and over during commercial breaks. But like, listen, we know you love Patrick Mahomes, but you don't mention his name. He's not here. He's not in the building. Like, we want to keep the show rolling. Talk about Sam Darnold and Drake May. Who
Yeah,
are they?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a good
Nice.
degenerate story for you in terms of
Nice.
things being mentioned. This is
Yeah.
this is Super Bowl 43. Yeah.
Okay.
So wow, we're talking that's amazing. 17
Yeah.
years ago. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How I can't even believe that.
It's
man.
insane when you.
It was the Steelers against the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There was a prop
Yeah.
bet because Obama was all about the Steelers. And it was like,
Oh.
which team will he mention first in his interview before the game? And so I bet the Steelers. He's all
Yeah.
about the Steelers.
Yeah.
And whoever was doing the interview was like, Barack or Mr. President, I know you love the Pittsburgh Steelers, but what about this Arizona Cardinals squad? I mean, come on. Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, come on. And I'm like, he ruined my bet.
Yeah.
This idiot
He did.
interviewer. And then I looked
Nice.
and I won. Because
Uh-huh.
Barack started off, he's like, oh man, you got to love Kurt Warner and I love Larry Fitz or whatever he said, but I guess he didn't
say.
Hey.
Oh.
Cardinals.
Somehow he must have said the Steelers first because I won the
Nice.
bet, but it's just hysterical, man.
Oh,
Like,
that's awesome.
yeah.
What a
True
change of
Degenerate
events.
gambling right there at its finest.
That's
Yeah. That was another crazy Super Bowl, man. Kurt Warner driving the ball down to the goal line, and then I think it was Harrison, right? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
boom, took it to the house all the way.
Dude.
I'm like, wow, man.
That was an amazing. So I had like 3 bets. I had my Barack Obama bet, which somehow got there. I had the Steelers first half line, and it took a 100-yard pick six for me to get there.
No.
That was a miracle. And I had the Steelers money line. I didn't know about them covering. I think it was like 6.5. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I love the Steelers to win the game. And then it's as good as it gets with Santonio Holmes and Big Ben, and that was tremendous. But that was a good one. That one worked out well.
Nice.
Excellent.
Awesome. There you go. Brian Noe, everybody, at the No Show on X, Fox Sports Radio, countdown to kickoff on the weekends. I tell you, man, Fox, they just do you wrong. You got to get your picture out there more with everybody else. I see like the front, like, hey, look at all these guys. I'm like, where the frick's Brian Noe? Right? Like, what the hell, man? I'm like,
I need to hire you as my manager, my agent, something. Yeah, like
come on.
replace Fox. Like put my face in the O or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's,
There you go.
right there. Because I mean,
Right.
not only because we love it, you know, because you're on here and you talk, you know, all kinds of different things. You have knowledge stuff, but the analogies you hit with that, you hit with the stories, you hit with the bets. It's everything, man. So you're just coming at us from every different angle, and we love it. We always have a good time too when you're on the show.
Absolutely.
It's such a good vibe.
That's cool, man. I always love talking ball with you guys, and the props, dude. Like It means the world to me. It's really cool that you say those nice things. I appreciate that
We appreciate
completely.
you, bro.
Absolutely. I'm
Definitely.
telling you, next time we are doing Name That Tune, Lamb of God style.
Please
Yeah.
do. Yeah, like we did that. I was doing a local show in Portland, and
Mhm.
one of my guys, Chris Burkhart, awesome dude. He knows Metallica really well,
Oh,
and I
yeah?
was like, nothing
Mhm.
beyond the Black Album because I don't even know half this stuff, right? But
Mm.
we did all Black Album and before, and literally it'd be like 1 second,
1
and he
second.
was on it,
Really?
man. It went to
Wow.
overtime. It was a whole thing, but
Nice.
yeah, it'd be
That's
fun to do it
impressive.
with Lamb of God for sure. I'd
That's
be up
good.
for it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Impressive.
Definitely. I'm down. I'll get it. I'll do all my homework, get it ready for you. And then hopefully it won't be another 3 months till we get you back on here
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
buddy.
please, don't make it that long. We got Into Oblivion coming out, the new Lamb of
Yes.
God, March
Yes.
13th. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's around the corner, man, for sure.
All right. Awesome. There you go. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you soon, brother.
All right, man, you guys take care. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
All right. Thanks, you too. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Noe. Always a good time when he comes on. And yeah, we're hopefully going to get him on pretty soon. So Joe and I, we're going to talk about the big game coming up here. Here it is, Joe. It's finally among us, right? In another year doing this show and
Another
another
year.
long season.
Long season.
And like we talked about it a bunch of different times with all the different people we've had on the show and on the
Mhm.
Blindside Blitz,
Yeah.
how these two teams, the unlikeliest of teams to make it here. And I think it's going to be a really good game. For
course.
me, it's great because you know how I get, because if I don't have a skin in the game, that's cool. I can feel relaxed watching
Yeah.
the game. I won't get angry. My family won't get mad at me and want to try and put me in a different room. So I can watch this game and be like, well, they win. That's fine. If this team wins, that's fine too. Whatever. I don't
Yeah.
care. And it's interesting too, because the Patriots, not too long ago, everybody is getting, I have a shirt, even one of the Barstool shirts that says everyone against the Patriots. Patriots are New England versus everyone, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how much hatred. I don't want the Patriots to win because, look at the dynasty that they had, how many championships. I did not like them either, but this one, it's just a fresh beginning for me. I don't know if it's Mike Vrabel and how they're doing. I don't know if it's because I like Drake May coming out of the draft. So Drake May, it just feels
Yeah.
different.
It definitely feels different, and, as a Raiders fan, right? Like, I had a hard time because you think of the Snow Bowl and how the Tuck rule and all that, and that the hatred that grew from that moment because the refs viewed it one way, and then it kinda transcended that team, skyrocketed that team to Super Bowl winning, and it was a part of it, right? So, like, I always, like, kind of hated the Patriots with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and how successful they were because I felt like we got screwed. And now that we've transcended to now this new era of Patriots football, and it's a whole new, all new, all fresh and different. There's no longer those ties of like, oh man, I hate this team so much. It's like now they wiped the slate clean. They're all new players. You got Mike Vrabel as the head coach, which honestly, one of the best coaches in football, if not the best.
Mhm.
Um, and it's hard to root against them because from my perspective, like since I started like doing my own scouting for like the draft and everything and paying close attention to all these prospects, Drake May was one of my favorite quarterbacks coming out. So like I've kind of like got that like draft relationship with some of these players now, and I'm always rooting for them to do well no matter where they go cuz I just like how they play. And now you see this new Patriots team they've built through the draft. They've got some key free agents and it's come together relatively really quickly in one off season really. Um
Mhm.
and I don't dislike the Patriots anymore. To me, that
Yeah.
they're just a completely different team. So it's like,
Mhm.
and a lot of those players I like.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad if they win or whatnot. So yeah, it is a different feel altogether.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe part of it too is it's fresh, it's new, it's different. You don't have the Spygate stuff behind it. You don't have Tom Brady, kind of being
Yeah,
douchey or looking douchey on top of it,
right.
and
It was definitely part of it. Like you
yeah.
you had all the
think it was a
questionable.
mix of everything.
Right. You had like the all the different gates,
Yeah.
list them or whatever, but um and that kind of led to like the hatred, I guess, you know, growing up with Brady and them. So but yeah, like now you look at this team and it's a different team. There's a lot of things to like about the Patriots. And then the Seattle Seahawks too. Like Sam Darnold, I'm rooting for the guy just like I'm rooting for Drake May because Sam Darnold's been through the ringer. Like he's been ridiculed his whole career. Teams did not even believe in him up to this point. Like he went team to team to team, and then finally he found a home with Seattle. Like he had one slightly with Minnesota, but for a short stint. But now Seattle's like, no, we're all in on you. We want you to bring us to the chip, and here you are, Sam. You made it. Now
Yeah.
you got to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that was the difference. If you look at where he began, you're getting drafted by a team. You're said you're going to be one of the top quarterbacks drafted. You get to go to the Jets, bad organization.
Mhm.
Adam Gase on there was supposed to kind of help you along. Did failed miserably on that whole situation. Different coaches turnovers around, all that through that franchise. You move on to a couple different things, but as you move on, you're basically going into that room and saying, "Hey, all right, kid, we're going to sign you to this 1 year deal or 2 year deal. And, you're going to fight for a spot, see what you can do or this." And the same
Mhm.
thing, maybe even with San Francisco, but with Kyle Shanahan, um, and even Clint Kubiak back then when he was just minority coach, just moving on, as an assistant somewhere, learnings the ropes and kind of, getting a little better to even Minnesota to where they're like, all right, we're going to go in as you as a starter. And it was only because JJ McCarthy got injured that we're
Mhm.
putting you in and you played well. And then after playing well, they still didn't believe in you. So it took another team, much like I feel like Jared Goff with the Detroit Lions, that said, "Hey, we're coming to get you. We want you here. We do believe in you, and we feel that you are the missing link to help our team." And I feel that is what makes a difference, and that can just change everything, especially perspective for a player and what motivate them. It's a different type of motivation.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
So the keys to the game, Joe, I feel like with the Patriots, establish the run, try and I think methodically kind of get the ball rolling and milk the clock a little bit, kind of get this going. Don't give up the big plays on the defensive side either. And I feel like they need to do a little bit more man to accomplish that. Because I looked at Seattle in the last game that they played, they just ate up zone nonstop, and like I told you, last time, I felt really uncomfortable if you're playing a zone and you're just letting JSN run right by you and expecting the next guy is going to pick him up with the type of routes that he runs and what he does and how they move him around. You're not sure who's going to pick up who. So I'm really not comfortable if the Patriots do play a lot of zone.
Yeah, that comes down to coaching. I mean, and
Mhm.
you saw some holes in the Broncos. You saw some holes in some of these better defenses that Drake May went against the Chargers and things of that nature. Um, what I will say is that this is a very different defense. Like
Mhm.
they play a lot of zone, and it's because they play within the structure that's given to them, and they don't stray from it. They're
Mhm.
the preparedness that the Patriots defense will be come Sunday is unparalleled in the league. Mike Vrabel will not allow them to have a mental mistake, will not allow them to um, think one way or another player, thought it was something else. Like they're going to be fully prepared as well. Both defenses, it's the talk of the town. Seattle Seahawks, they come in having a dominant defense, you know, with 17.2 points per game allowed. They're the number one defense going into the Super Bowl. The Patriots aren't far behind either because they are a top 5 defense with 18.9 points per game allowed. That to me is like you got these two studded defenses that are going to be going against these offenses that all have positives and negatives to them. And I will say this about the Patriots offense. There is something that we have to watch for, and I don't think too many people are talking about it right now, but the left tackle for the New England Patriots, the rookie, Will Campbell, is going to be something to watch for. His matchup, which is most likely going to be DeMarcus Lawrence. You know,
Mhm.
Will Campbell has allowed 12 and a half sacks this season and struggled with pressure being put on him, allowing 11 pressures in 3 playoff games. So some of the mistakes that Drake May has committed, you could kind of intertwine with Will Campbell not playing up to snuff. So something to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at the two different defensive breakdowns as well, you got to give it to Mike Vrabel and what he's been able to do. But then also Seattle on the opposite side. And the difference, I think, with Seattle is the takeaways. It is the fact to not only pressure the quarterback, but wrap him up and get him down. And that's the one thing that the Patriots haven't been able to do. Ranked only 26th in the league and in interceptions 21st. So that's going to be the key, though. Like Brian Noe said, you want to be able to rush Sam Darnold, force him into making, mistakes, into creating turnovers, but then also getting him to the ground. It's one thing to get pressures, which sometimes are just as good as, sacks too, as well. You get those pressure
They
sacks.
could lead to
Um,
mistakes. Mhm.
but to get the mistakes, but on the opposite side, it's just the flip side where the Seattle's, top 10 and forcing those turnovers and also getting sacks. So that will be the factor here for both teams because we haven't seen Sam Darnold fold under that pressure, facing some really good teams too, as well, in the NFC. And Drake May, on the other hand, getting very loose with the ball and not looking very good, making this last push to the Super Bowl right now, just kind of
Yeah,
surviving these games. So
exactly.
I don't feel really confident in the Patriots in that aspect. Because yeah, too, second year quarterback, he's gonna make mistakes. The game might feel a little big for him. And hopefully they can contain that. But that will be the deciding factor here. Like Brian Noe said, who's gonna accept the pressure more? For me, I think Sam Darnold's been in the league long enough. I think he'll be able to handle the pressure more than what Drake May has shown us so far.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the interesting thing to watch for as well is like the matchup in the trenches is like you have 2 really good defenses that are going to apply pressure. There's like no doubt about it. Like both defenses are gonna play at a high level. And when you look at like the Patriots, like you bring up Drake May, he's had a statistical efficiency dip since being in the playoffs. You look at the turnovers, you look at the just even it's not always what happens, but some inconsistencies in that offense is because Drake May is getting pressured to get rid of the ball quicker or just flat out escape the pocket. May is the first quarterback. This is the crazy thing in NFL history to defeat 3 top 5 total defenses: Chargers, Texans, Broncos. They
Mhm.
faced them all. Now, that's in a single postseason. But then you look at it like, okay, when you watch those games, like it wasn't just Drake May.
Yeah.
It was the fact like the running game had to help him out, or Drake May shined in those critical moments where like he utilized his legs. He has like I
Yes.
believe 140 rushing yards in the postseason right now,
Yeah.
and I think you're going to have to see more of that in this Super Bowl because if now that you're facing another yet again extremely tough defense, you're going to have to dip into that mobility of yours. You're going to have to do maybe it a little bit more often than the team would like
Yeah.
because if you're trying to do it the way the team has been structuring it, the way Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, has been structuring this offense, I feel like you're going to fail and end up making some of those same mistakes.
Yeah. One thing, I think you can bring up is the fact that Josh McDaniel's been there multiple times too in this big game and having that experience on top of it as well. And you mentioned the last game as well that they played with the Broncos. I was screaming at the TV again, not that anybody could ever hear me, but me and my father-in-law was like, "Hey, I think they heard you this time," because how many times was it like a fourth and short or just third and short? And it's the same. Hey, let's run directly into the line. And I'm like, they are expecting this every single time. Drake May can run. The weather isn't very good. Fake it, bootleg out. If they're manning up or whatever, there's nobody going to be on Drake May to get to him in time. And what did you know? They go and do the fake, and they did exactly what I said, bootleg on the outside. And lo and behold, there he was to pick up the crucial first down to ice the game. And it's going to take plays like that, I think, for the Patriots to kind of edge out the Seattle Seahawks in this one, to kind of know those big moments and those key plays when it comes down to converting, whether on fourth down or not, and making those big plays happen for them. So it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I feel like, it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think these teams are just going to start lighting it up. But it's going to be exciting to watch. Definitely, Joe.
Yeah, the one thing too that I want to touch on as well is with the Patriots is that they're not coming into the Super Bowl with a lot of momentum.
Right.
Like they're not. They barely got by those 2 playoff games, committing 5 turnovers up to this point. You know what I mean? They're about to face a very tough defense yet again. And this defense, by the way, has 3 turnovers in the playoffs, and they have stopped 4 fourth down attempts. Like, no, we're not talking about like, oh, well, it was 4th and 4 or 4th and 3. Like, we're talking about 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s. Like, this is a very good defense. So when you put all the, you know, opinions and you put all the data together and everything, the Patriots, at least the way it looks like they have an uphill to climb. Now, I don't think that means like, oh, well, Seattle's going to run through them. I think that both teams overall are very well built. They're very prepared and they're ready for this moment. I think this is going to be a very tough game, but I feel like you got a little bit more chips stacked against New England than Seattle.
Absolutely. We got a shout out to Mike Tackett is in the house with us tonight.
What up, Mike?
There he is.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
It's do you guys think Frank Reich will be a good fit for New York? I think he was one of the only guys to kind of bite on to get one of those jobs over there. So it might work out. He's got a lot of experience, and what he's done before in the past. It could be good, but who knows? I mean, I think that might be an aspect or an avenue that if he does well, but then the team doesn't do very well, is that an easy of power if they say, hey, Aaron Glenn's going to be out. Now Frank Reich, come on, move right in.
Yeah, so Frank Reich, I think it's a desperation move because as much as I've seen Frank Reich call plays and he's had success in the league, don't get me wrong. He was with the Colts at one point and everything, and I think he's a good coach, but nobody of any high caliber or maybe even a young and up and coming potential coordinator was going to the Jets at all because of the such quick turnaround and the irrational decisions that were made by Aaron Glenn in this offseason. Basically firing every staff member that he hired from last year. Just fired him. Now, I don't know how much of it was just his call or maybe a mix of front office and him, but that doesn't speak job security, ladies and gentlemen. That has to scare a lot of potential coaches away now. So what's going to happen? If the Jets yet again have a miserable season, which that's kind of what they're tracking towards right now. If that happens again, are they just going to fire everybody all over again? Aaron Glenn will be fired if this nosedives next season. Yeah. Maybe even halfway through the season because he might not get that far. So I view it as the best hire they could possibly get with what they've been able to kind of reach out to.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, that's a perfect example. If you're going to interview for a job somewhere and you see that this place, if you research it quick and you're like, oh man, these guys lay guys off like quickly. It's like, it's one thing they're talking us up like, yeah, man, you're gonna be busy and this is a busy time of the year and blah, 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 and this and this. But all of a sudden the other half of the year, they don't need you and they lay you off. You're like, Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go somewhere else. The pay sounds good now, but they ain't good. Gonna be good for me down the road. This isn't a career. Uh, so yeah, a lot of red flags, and like you said, it takes somebody that Frank Reich, like nobody else was looking at him anyways. So it's like
Mhm.
a win-win for him. He's like, all right, I'll jump in,
Cool.
give mine
Yeah,
2 cents, see what I got, and maybe it turns into something or not. So yeah, I feel the same way.
exactly. Yeah.
Mike Tackett also says he's given his prediction here for the Super Bowl. Pats win. Over 45 is the over here. He's saying JSN scores a touchdown. If that happens, $10 turns into $90. Think it'll happen.
Nice. Nice.
Um, over 45. I don't think over 45.
What's that?
Or if they're over for points combined,
Um,
it'll be close.
I
I think
think
it'll be
it's
a little
gonna
more
be
than that.
I think it's gonna be in the realm of like 24, 21.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's gonna probably
So
be
then it'd be
around. It's
right
still
at.
gonna be there's still gonna be really
Yeah.
good defense. There's still gonna be good plays, but I
Mhm.
still think that there's going to be some scoring because, to be honest with you, um, you have a very regimented and well put together team offensively in the New England Patriots. And then you on the other side, you also have like Clint Kubiak, who's such a great offensive mind, um, that has created some very unique and interesting plays even throughout these playoffs, to free up JSN or to move the coverage away from one area so they can get a play down the field. So I think you got. I mean, both teams are going to be well equipped. I don't think that it's gonna be a 10-7 game or anything like that. Um, there's gonna be some scoring. It's not gonna be like 40 points for Seattle and 36
Yeah.
for
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not gonna be
yeah.
anything
Nothing
crazy
crazy.
like that,
Yeah, yeah.
but I could see it somewhere in the realm of 24-21 or, you know, um,
So you're
maybe
thinking maybe the over, but just
2017.
barely? Okay. Oh, okay, so you're
It could
saying
be anything
around
in
there
that
under. Yeah.
area.
Yep.
Like,
Yep, yep.
I just don't see it as a super high scoring game, but I think it's gonna be an entertaining game to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to watch it. Like I said, with no skin in the game, just a lot of food to eat and people to hang out with and just watch the game. See
Well,
and
Jim,
break it all
I mean,
down. That's
that's
that's that's
that's
fun
been
of
my
it,
life
right?
for the last 20 years,
Yeah, I
so
know, I know.
I'm
Like you
good.
and I both know. We don't know what Super Bowls are like, right? Yeah, so it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to watch it. You got to stay home. Or you going somewhere to watch it?
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest. I kinda want to I wanna go somewhere,
Mhm.
like, to watch it instead of just sitting home you know what I mean, just chilling by myself.
Yep.
Um, I wanna get out. I wanna go do something to watch the Super Bowl, but we'll see what happens if, any plans, pop up or whatnot.
Yeah, I know Dutch's place is doing a buffet for $10. $10 and then buffet, pizza, ziti, and all kinds of stuff while I watch the game. I
Oh,
think
cool.
yeah, the local ESPN affiliate's gonna be there and stuff. So might be fun. They're gonna give away prizes. So it always makes it fun too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Here's a napkin that says ESPN. You're welcome.
yes, there you go. So all right. So overall, Joe, all right, who do you think's gonna win this one? Who are you taking?
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest, like, there's one other thing I wanna talk about with Seattle,
Yeah, sure.
before I kinda give my answer here.
Mhm.
That much like the Patriots where I said, like, they're kind of struggling with momentum, they haven't really built it going into Super Bowl. On the other hand, with Seattle, they have all the momentum. They've won 9 consecutive games, stemming from the regular season, going into the playoffs, and now they're here at the Super Bowl. That's pretty impressive. In the fashion that they've been able to do it, it is it's going to be one of those things to watch out for. So, um, they do in fact win the turnover battle defensively and whatnot. But if the Patriots are able to create and disrupt the front of Seattle and create that pressure against Sam, that's going to be the ticket to see if Sam can either rise up above it, because we haven't seen him do that yet in
Mhm.
his whole career. If teams start to get him a little rattled, get him a little happy feet in the pocket and just trying to get rid of the ball quickly, that's kind of when he suffers. So, talk about momentum for Seattle. This is this is where like I differ from some other people out there. Like I like the Patriots, don't get me wrong. And I have, like you said, I have no skin in the game. And I don't really care who wins, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't mind if the Patriots win with Drake May. I don't mind if Seattle wins with Sam Darnold. But I love the fact of how Seattle brings it. I just what I saw throughout the playoffs was a team that was on a mission that was dominating opponents.
Mhm.
And I think I'm going to roll with Seattle in this one. I don't
Yeah.
think they win big. I don't think they're going to win by like, 17 points or anything like that, but I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a really good game. I think it comes down to maybe a field goal or something like that. I lean when it comes to field goal kickers, I lean to Seattle's kicker. I think he's more efficient, he's better. He's been there, done that in critical moments. Give me the Seattle Seahawks in this matchup in a great Super Bowl.
Yeah. I it's funny too, is because kind of throughout the regular season, I've always been just I thought Sam Darnold, a lot of pressure was going to be on him this year, that he wasn't going to perform as well as he did, and I just haven't been giving him the benefit of the doubt throughout the season.
Got to
I've
give him
been
his
picking
flowers
him.
now.
I've been picking them because every time they were home, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely going to be good there. It's 12th man. It works for football picks. But
Mm.
as the season progressed and towards the end of the season, you just could see how they were gelling as a team, how he was playing. Everybody was just in one cohesive unit, and they did get better. And I feel like on the NFC side of the ball, they played tougher competition. Not saying that New England, again, they easy schedule. I just think the NFC altogether has better teams than the AFC side does, especially due to a lot of different injuries on the AFC side of the ball too. A lot of bigger teams had Lamar Jackson out for half the season, had this, and now even what happened, in the playoffs. But Bo Nix and that offense never looked really good, even under Sean Payton. Like Brian Noe said, they utilized the passing game to mimic the running game, but never really pushed the ball down the field, had a really great defense. So I wasn't really scared of a lot of AFC teams. So I always thought going into this thing that whoever came out of the NFC was going to be the winner. And in this one, I think offensively, the teams are very close, doing it differently. New England does it with a lot of no-namers, like you said, and then, bringing in a veteran of Stephon Diggs, who's going to be his Super Bowl. So I could say, hey, it's great. I hope he gets a win. I think he deserves it at this point. Why not? But then you look at the Seattle Seahawks and what they've been doing, and overall, if you split them down the middle, this side favors to the Seattle Seahawks. So I would just go with them and say, overall, I'm looking at them. They're just the overall balanced, better team. So I say they barely edge them out as well in a low scoring game.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta say congratulations to both teams.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, if I don't care who you are out there, nobody picked Seattle and the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl. Nobody. Like you could say it at the end of the season, you're like, oh yeah, Seattle's legit. Like, no, like early on predictions that everybody loves to do, and I don't think Seattle and the Patriots were one of those teams that you
Wonder
had
what
in mind.
happens if
So,
you're able to bet like whatever the
oh, it's
combination
crazy.
is, right?
It's
If you were
crazy.
like, yeah, like because there's 32 teams, so you can put a
Yeah.
dollar on each team to win or whatever. But I'm
Yeah.
sure like if you can figure out the odds of these two teams, if
You
you were
might,
just able to
yeah.
bet, but
You could
what's
do
the odds? I mean, big odds, but does it come out to what,
it
$50 or
depends.
$100,
It
$200?
depends on like if you do a fixed odds, if you do
Mm-hmm.
fixed odds and don't allow them to fluctuate, because some people do that. You can
Yeah,
actually say, well, I'm betting now,
fixed
and
odds
whatever
beginning of
the
the season
odds
is
are
what it is.
now is what I'm betting on.
Yeah,
If you put a dollar on every single team and you're gonna win no matter what, obviously like the better teams, the lower the odds are. So you're not gonna
it's a
win
better turnaround.
really hardly any money
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
But if you're lucky and you did pick the Patriots, you put a dollar on the Patriots, I'm sure that the odds were pretty high
yeah.
because a four win team the following year to make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win it, you could really cash in. You might even make $1,000,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, on a $32
You know what,
investment.
Jimmy? That's what we're doing next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna
next year.
bet early, and
Mhm.
we're gonna put money on every single team. So
Lock it in. Lock it in. There you go. So there you go, Joe. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's our Super Bowl picks. That's the preview show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We definitely appreciate you guys supporting the show. Again,
yeah,
Mike Tackett, and we have a lot more
honestly,
stuff planned for you guys out there this week, especially. We've had a lot of guests on
yeah,
the Blindside Blitz, and we're gonna have some more this week. So look out for those videos that are gonna get posted and also collaborated with Grumblings Media. So
yep.
thank you so
Blindside
much for
Blitz is
everybody.
the name of the show that you guys be tuning into. That is on Grumblings Media. We will be collaborating with them, showing that show on our channel as well. Thanks everybody out there. Listen, when we do these interviews, and especially if they're live, if they're not live, drop in the comment section on the previous show and let us know what you want us to ask, because we'll do that for you
Yeah.
guys. And then also when it is live, drop in the comments, give your opinion, or better yet, when we have a special guest on like Brian Noe, you know what I mean? Listen, we're gonna have JJ Stokes tomorrow night,
Mhm.
and former Super Bowl winner with the Patriots, played with the 49ers as well. So if there's any other questions that you guys might have, make sure you drop in the comment section down below. Ask them. We will forward those questions, and tune in, because it's going to be an awesome. That'll be our last show, right?
For Grumblings, we'll have one more show after that, probably reactionary to the Super Bowl, and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got one
So
more week, everybody, and then we're gonna go on vacation.
that's right.
So, all right, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Enjoy the Super Bowl.